don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot.
Lakeysha Keysha. I love that song. Hey, y'all, let's get into it. Welcome to Friday, honey. It is Friday. What y'all got going on this weekend? I am going to meet my trainer because listen, I done joined the gym and baby, I'm just struggling. So, y'all, we got to jump into this Porsha Williams and the devastating news that she faces. Well, we all know she got to refinance this home, or should I say purchase the home, because you can only refinance a home that you actually own, y'all. So let's get into what's going on.
Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the club. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Okay, guys, let's jump into what's going on. Now, listen, I've already ran down to you all what is going on with Simon and Porsha. Now, we already know they went to court. The judge granted an absolute divorce. It is over, it is done. But one thing you guys forgot, I forgot this too, is that Simon can object, in which he did. But let me kind of get into where the problem comes in. At this point, Porsha is trying to refinance the home, right? I keep saying refinance. I'm going to correct myself. Purchase, because she can't refinance it because she doesn't own it. So, as a mortgage banker, I'm not one now, but I used to be one. In order to purchase a property, for one, you got to have a purchase agreement. So I'm not sure how they will work that out between the two of them because they are divorced and, this is what the court had awarded. But I am assuming the court order would suffice. Okay, keep in mind, Porsha is going to purchase this home. It's not in her name. So her mortgage banker, broker, whoever that she got this mortgage from that she don't remember. If y'all recall, Porsha said she had gotten a mortgage, was pre-approved. She didn't use the words pre-approved, but when asked, did she have a lender? She said yes, but she said she did not know the terms, which was very awkward, honey, because I know the terms of mine for the last year and something, and I still ain't found the house. But anyways, let's get into it. So here's the deal. In order for Porsha to move forward, she needs this court order. But where it stands now is that Simon has objected, he's rejected, and he's moving forward with filing for an appeal. Now, I'm not going to read every single thing to y'all, but I want to show y'all my screen so you know that this is actual and factual. This ain't no shit that I'm making up. So here is the drafted 19-page document that Simon has pretty much rejected. And he's pretty much saying, y'all go to HELL because I am rejecting this. Okay. Now, as I read to y'all originally, basically what Porsha's attorney is saying is, Simon, you don't have a reason to really object to this. You're just trying to preserve your rights for appeal, which that could be what he's trying to do, because what Porsha's attorney is saying, you're not even pointing out what we did incorrectly. But Simon simply and has always stated, if you're going to, well, I should say Simon's attorney stated, if you're going to enforce the prenuptial agreement as the court, you definitely have the right to do so. Things went awry when the judge said he was going to enforce the prenup, but yet he was going to allow Porsha to film in the home when the prenup clearly says she cannot do that without permission. So that is the first mistake that the judge made in saying he was going to honor the prenuptial agreement, but he actually didn't. So what essentially that means, and we heard Simon's attorney talk about this in court, the court cannot rewrite the contract. Well, the court has rewrote the contract because the court is allowing her to film and it says she can't do that. So I understand totally where Simon is objecting here. Well, here is where this is bad, devastating news for Porsha, because she cannot do anything with this house without that sealed court order. And at this point, it is in limbo, and Simon has objected it. So essentially, what it has to do now is go back to the judge. They need to figure it out, move forward with the court order, or the judge will probably have to look up cases to see what has happened in previous cases with regards to one of the parties saying that they objected. And as I originally said, by the judge allowing Porsha's attorney to draft this order, which is a common practice. And I mean, I get it. Judges give it to the attorneys to write the order. Is their client. It makes more sense. And then it takes the burden off of the judge for the judge to have to render decisions, write court orders. I agree. Give it back to the attorneys. But the issue here is the attorney for Porsha seems to be trying to be sneaky here, and he is putting in information that could very well hinder Simon's appeal process, which I feel is an issue. He should just probably stick to writing the order and not try to enter that verbiage in there that could potentially hinder Simon from actually filing the appeal. So, is the objection here that Simon actually doesn't want to sign it, or is the true objection that Porsha's attorney is putting in, this salacious information that definitely doesn't really need to be in there? But what he's trying to do is help his client. And of course, he wants to get that 200 and something $1,000 attorney fees paid. Because if you guys recall, in this order, what was requested is that Simon pays Porsha's full, very full attorney fees. Now, if I recall, at the time of the hearing, and don't quote me on this, Porsha's attorney fees was about 200, and if I'm correct, 233 or 30 something $1,000. Now you have to take into account it did not include the day of the hearing, and I'm sure it does not include what has happened this far in terms of Porsha's attorneys continuing to produce motions and fight for Porsha. Now, we spoke about in past videos that Porsha's lawyer put into the order that Simon needs to get life insurance policy totaling $560,000, which would break down to about $40,000 per month. Now, if you guys recall, and if you don't, I'm just going to remind you, if you recall, Simon is required to pay Porsha $40,000 a month for the next 14 months. So what Porsha's attorney is trying to do is make sure that Porsha actually gets that money. And the way to do that is, I guess, make him pay it via a life insurance policy. And of course, we had spoke about that in the past, and I have highlighted that for y'all. If you can see 14 months at $40,000 a month with a total life insurance policy of $560,000. Now, what this provision states is, in the event of husband's or ex-husband's death following a divorce, that the wife is entitled to receive this money. Now, I know y'all was in the comments like, what in the hell is going on? I was saying the same thing, because if you got to get it like that, it seemed like you probably should find you something else to do, because baby, that is some strong language to say, Negro, if you die, make sure you pay me my money. And then we got to understand, these people were only married for 14 months. She act like they was married for 4 to 4 years. So this is giving thirst to me, and it's giving like, Porsha girl, after this, you ain't gonna never find another man unless they just want to hit it and quit it. Nobody will take you seriously, because I don't believe people want to get married to feel like they in jail. And it seemed very much like some damn jail shit. Now, I understand Simon did sign it, but girl, get over it. Live your best life, work 99 jobs, whatever you need to do to, make sure you're able to do the things that you want to do. Because marrying a man that is much, much older than you for 14 months and thinking he's going to support your entire life is absolutely crazy. People are laughing at you. People are talking about you because you look real silly right about now. You look very, very silly. It's giving I don't even know if it's given gold digger, because even gold diggers have sense. This is given that you don't have much sense, you don't have much brain, and you're thirsty. And for some reason, you feel like if you don't get it from him, you will never get it. And I believe that if you don't get it from him, you'll never get it. Because, like I said, who is going to take you serious? Like, this is way too much for me. Now, one of the other things I had spoke about, and this is why this is so serious for her. Like, it's giving, Porsha, girl, did you grow up with any money? Were you hungry when you grew up? Like, what was really going on in your life? Because this is a lot of energy here. Now, what we also learned is that Porsha wants to live nice and she wants to drive nice, because in this document right here, it is saying that Simon needs to pay off the 2021 Rolls-Royce Ghost automobile. Now, this is a leased car. Now, we all, or if you all have ever leased a car before, people generally lease because it gives you a lower payment and you can just get a new car whenever that lease is over. Now, Porsha really likes this car, honey. Okay, it is 2025, but she likes this 2021 Rolls-Royce Ghost, and she wants Simon to pay the balance and give her the title. So again, she wants to ride nice and she wants to live nice, all at the expense of somebody that you've been married to for a mere 14 months, honey. So if this ain't devastation, I want you to tell me exactly what it is, because at this point, Porsha is not able to move forward with the refinancing of this home. And I keep saying refinancing, the purchase of this home. The title has not been transferred. Again, Simon is objecting to these things, which, as the document is saying, it is preserving his right for appeal. So how does this affect Porsha? I'm going to tell you how it affects Porsha. As I stated, she cannot move forward. This home is not in her name. She has no purchase agreement. She has no court order, which means simply what I said. She can't move forward. This is devastating news for her. Now, if you guys were in court, you would have heard Porsha's attorney say, listen, judge. Now, Porsha's attorney didn't say this word for word, but what he said is, listen, judge, we need to expedite this. We need you to put this title into a trust today. And the judge said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow the proper protocol, and Simon will have 30 days. Well, listen, the 30 days have come and gone, and they are still objecting to the court order. So Simon can't necessarily transfer something if he objects the order. So I don't believe, even after this is finalized, that Simon is going to willfully transfer this property. He might, but I don't anticipate so. What I anticipate is that Simon will be immediately filing an appeal. And it looks like, based on everything that I'm seeing here, is that he is reserving his rights to appeal because he has so many objections. From what I've learned, you have to object to be able to say, hey, I'm filing an appeal based on these reasons. And I believe he has documented that very well. So again, how does this help Porsha? It absolutely, positively, in no way, shape, or form helps her. She can't move forward. This is devastating news for Porsha, because unless Simon is sending her that $40,000 a month and paying, keep in mind, the 40 that he is supposed to send her has nothing to do with the monthly expenses. So I don't believe he's sending it. It don't seem like he's sending it. Simon, if you are, get online and let us know if you're actually sending it. Devastating news for Porsha. She cannot and will not move forward with any type of purchase on this home without either the court order or without the property being transferred in a trust. And keep in mind, guys, with the trust, it's going to be in both of their names. Now, by the trust being in both of their names, it potentially can act as a refinance, because, just in case y'all don't know, I can buy a house in my name and I can put my grown adult children name on the title if I choose. Now, they would not be responsible for making payment. I would be responsible, which means if I didn't make it, my credit gonna be messed up. But what it means for them is also, eventually, if I didn't pay it, they would foreclose it they wouldn't get it either, because essentially, in order to own it, somebody has to pay for it. So I hope I have explained that. This is not good news. This is actually devastating news for
There's nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that